According to anthropologists, the Inuit are the descendants of the Thule people from western Alaska in about 1000 CE. The Thule people spread across the eastern parts of Alaska, and in the process, they displaced the Tuniit, Dorset culture. According to Inuit legend, the Tuniit were a race of giants. The Inuit referred to their homeland as Inuit Nunangat, which translates to the Arctic region's land, water, and ice. The Inuit who lived in Greenland and Alaska also used the same term. According to Statistics Canada, the population of the Inuit has increased steadily since 2006. Today, the Inuit encompass 3.9% of all of Canada's native Indian population. In this Liber-Tea episode, we will be looking into the history and culture of the Inuit people of Canada. According to the oral traditions of the Inuit people have occupied the Arctic region since time immemorial. In Greenland and Canada, the Inuit have for centuries circulated north of the tree line exclusively. The Inuit did not venture into the southern parts because their technology and culture were not well suited for those regions. Despite this, the Inuit regularly engaged their southern counterparts in trade and occasionally engaged in armed conflict with them due to territorial disputes. Historical records show that warfare was a common thing to the Inuit, especially for those sub-tribes that had huge populations. In around 1350, following a short ice age, the Inuit vacated their whaling and hunting sites in the high Arctic. Consequently, bowhead hunting vanished in Greenland and Canada, but the Inuit who lived in Alaska continued to practice it. This caused the Inuit to survive on a poor diet. The absence of whales caused them to survive without critical raw materials for their architecture and the tools that whales provided. The change of climate caused the Inuit to migrate south along the edges of the tree line. There is sufficient historical evidence that indicates that the Inuit continued to migrate even during the 17th century to the territory of southern Labrador and started to interact with native Indians of North America's colonial civilizations. The Inuits' first encounter with Europeans was with the Viking people who had settled in parts of Greenland. The Vikings also undertook numerous explorations in the Arctic region. The arrival of the Vikings did not change the lives of the Inuit much. However, the Vikings and the Inuit engaged in trade. The Vikings did not live alongside the Inuit for long. After the Vikings abandoned their colonies in Greenland, the Inuit did not interact with Europeans for the next century. Martin Frobisher is the first post-Columbian European who interacted with the Inuit. This interaction occurred in 1576 when Martin was looking for a northwest passage. He had landed on Baffin Island. Frobisher's first contact with the Inuit did not go well. A few of Frobisher's men, tired of the expedition and homesick, attempted to run away. They took a small vessel and disappeared without a trace. The Inuit, through their oral tradition, maintained that they helped the sailors, thinking that they had been abandoned. Traditionally, the Inuit have always been anglers and hunters. Since the olden days, the Inuit have hunted walruses, whales, polar bears, seals, and musk oxen. While it is possible to cultivate crops in the Arctic region, the Inuit have always preferred those that are naturally available. As such, the Inuit subsisted on a variety of berries, seaweed, roots, grasses, and tubers. Traditionally, the Inuit preserved their foods depending on the season and the location they were in. Typically, an Inuit diet was high in protein and fat. The Inuit hunted at sea using an extremely buoyant vessel known as the kayak. Due to its buoyancy, the kayak could easily be righted even when it was completely overturned. Because of its ability to stay afloat and to be easily righted, the Europeans adopted it and introduced it to the world. along with the name kayak. The Inuit used dogs to pull sleds on land for transportation. Typically, the sleds were made from animal bones or wood. The Inuit used landmarks to navigate the land and stars to navigate the sea. In case a natural landmark was insufficient, they put up an inusuk to compensate. The Inuit industry was heavily reliant on bones, animal hides, and driftwood. However, archaeological discoveries indicate that the Inuit made some tools out of stones. They also used walrus's ivory to make tools like knives. The Inuit were also artistic people. They used bones and ivory as material for their artwork. Carvings adorned with feathers and furs were used during religious ceremonies. Additionally, masks representing the forces of nature and animal spirits were worn during rituals. The Inuit made their clothes and shoes from animal skins, which were sewn together using animal bones. The designs of men's and women's clothes varied from one region to the other. Normally, the hoods, parkas, worn by women were designed to be extra large to protect their babies from the harsh Arctic winds. The boots the Inuit wore were made from sealskin or caribou. The Inuit lived in igloos. Igloos are dome-shaped houses that are constructed with snow blocks. While these types of houses are closely associated with the Inuit people, the Inuit in Greenland and Canada's central Arctic area predominantly use them. Since time immemorial, the Inuit have always been hunters and gatherers. However, they had highly advanced systems of land ownership and concepts of private property. All Inuit have oral traditional stories that describe raids from other natives, such as the infamous Bloody Falls Massacre. Those stories also contain descriptions of the actions the Inuit took to revenge. The term Inuit describes the natives of Greenland, Alaska, and Canada. The term Inuit means the people. The language spoken by the Inuit is Inuktitut. The language has several regional dialects. The Inuit are also referred to as Eskimos in some parts of the world. In Canada, the Inuit live in Inuit Nunangat. Nunangat is divided into 4 regions. For many centuries, the Inuit have relied on strong leaders, natural resources, and innovative skills and tools to counter the Arctic's harsh weather conditions. Despite the effects of colonization by European settlers, the Inuit continue to preserve their culture. They maintain their cultural identity via language, cultural laws, behaviors, and attitudes, family, and their much celebrated Inuit art. Thank you for listening to this wonderful historical breakdown of the Inuit people. We hope you have learned something and enjoyed the episode. Like, share, and subscribe to the Liber-Tea channel for more interesting episodes on Native Indian history. You can also share your knowledge of the Inuit people in the comment section.